Hello, 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 my beautiful Empresses. Welcome back to Embody Your Empress. My name's Sarah King. I'm the podcast host and founder of Empress Nation. And if it's your first time here, welcome. You've got a few episodes to go back and catch up on, but this is the place you want to be if you're here to open up to new perspectives, hear something you might never have heard before, and really tune in to your true self, the part that's calling you forward. So, welcome for being here today. We have an amazing guest joining us, Melanie Stevens, all the way from the UK. And Melanie is a spiritual teacher and guide who creates online learnings for those of us who are so interested in a new dimension and what may be out there for us. Welcome, Melanie.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me on the show.
Oh, you are so welcome. I would love to hear more about who you are as a human, as a soul, and how you came to be on this journey doing what you do.
Absolutely. Thank you. So I was open to spirit as a child, just to sort of to begin my journey when I was 6 years old, and I saw spirit in my bedroom in front of me, which really frightened me. And I didn't know I was, but I blocked my ability. I shut it down. It was too much for me. I was too young and I couldn't cope with it. So I kind of picked up my spiritual path a little bit a few years later by learning a little bit about tarot cards and that kind of thing. But I was playing with it. It wasn't really, I didn't feel like it was part of who I was at the time. It was just something I was exploring.
Mm.
Fast forward right the way to 2009. This was the catalyst for me for my awakening. So this is where I hit rock bottom. I was really struggling in my life, struggling predominantly in my career, feeling very unfulfilled, going from job to job, thinking, where do I fit? I don't fit with these people. I don't fit with these people. I don't feel good enough to be with these people. What am I here for? This is just crazy. I'm just flitting from nothing to nothing. And through a friend of a friend, I found a life coach who I didn't know at the time was a spiritual life coach. She didn't advertise her services in that way, but the more I worked with her, she introduced me to people like Eckhart Tolle. She introduced me to practices like meditation, breath work, and something called the Sedona method, which I still use to this day, which helped me to manage my emotions and my thoughts and the reactivity I was feeling between thought and emotion, and just literally changed my life. I went from being burned out, being exhausted, even through doing nothing, feeling like I didn't fit anywhere, to being really confident and purpose driven. And it was just after I'd been working with her that I started working for a charity. I found a lovely job with wonderful people. And I felt like finally I fit somewhere. It felt
Mm.
like I'd found some purpose. I carried on that path for many years until 2019, so 10 years later. And then my awakening journey just exploded. I started learning Reiki, I was having readings. I just thought, okay, I've done all of this stuff so far and it's brought me to where I am now, but this isn't where I need to be. I had a great job. I was working in HR. I was a manager. I was earning good money. From the outside in, that looked like the perfect life. But for me, I was like, okay, I'm now feeling like I need to pivot and go this way, but I don't know what this way is. I don't know where I'm
Mm.
going. So it took a lot of faith because I quit my job essentially. I went and just decided to start being a Reiki practitioner. And I left my safe job and just went for it and went fully self-employed doing Reiki. And from there, I started learning tarot reading. I now teach tarot reading. I teach energy healing. It's kind of progressed from there. So today, I work as a spiritual teacher. I've got 7 online courses. I feel like I know this is my purpose now, that I'm meant to be teaching and sharing and channeling. And the more information I'm getting through from the spirit world, I'm really feeling compelled to share that with the world. So that's how I've got here. A lot of trust, a lot of faith, a lot of little nudges from my spirit team, but I took them on board and I followed my gut, if you like, rather than my head,
Mhm.
and ended up on this path. And that's how I got to where I am today.
Wow. I couldn't help but smiling when you said you were having your spiritual awakening and you weren't fitting in because I'm like, oh, I know that feeling well. When you get that moment where you've just been living closed off from the the things in life you can't see.
Yeah.
And then it just sort of like smacks you in the face and you're like, holy moly, like what? And the tower moment where everything is burning, the job burns and the friendships burn and the relationships burn, and you're just like, geez, could there be a simpler way to do this? So I love hearing people's awakening moments and the dark nights that come along with it, because it's so, I don't know, it's dramatic, but it's exciting dramatic because once you've been through it, you know what's on the other side. And every time you have a dark night of the soul, you know it's going to be uncomfortable and a bit icky for a while, but you know that there's going to be magic waiting for you on the other side. I'm sure with what you teach, you will see people going through this all the time.
Yeah, absolutely. And I kind of look at it like we come into this world with the blinkers on, so we can only see what's right in front of us. And then at some point in our lives, something happens, often painful, catastrophic, and these blinkers start to just move a little bit, and we gain this sight of these things that were always there but we couldn't see. And they just keep moving and moving until we won't have any blinkers on anymore. And then we see the things that were there anyway, not through our physical eyes, but we sense that there's more going on that was always there in the background, but we were completely unaware to it. And it's quite scary. I think people think that spiritual awakening means, oh, you sit and meditate and the angels come and give you a cuddle and it's all lovely. No, it's messy, it's painful, it's loss, it's uncomfortable. You feel like, why am I here? How many times have I looked up to the ceiling and said, why have I come here?
Oh,
Many
oh,
times.
I have said that. What the F am I doing at this time around?
Yeah.
Why? Why? Oh, I know that. It's interesting. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. There seems to be people like you who were visited by spirit very young and turned the blinkers really on. And I was the same. And I had repressed that until I was being interviewed on a podcast recently. And it just came out of my mouth. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that's right. I remember waking up about 7 or 8 and seeing spirit in front of me, which was my great grandmother,
Wow.
and just being too scared, and them just going, "It's okay, we'll come back when you're ready." And I was like, "Never ready." I was never ready. Not until my spiritual awakening, where I was like 31. So there was a long time in between. She hasn't come back to me yet. Actually, I haven't invited her in. How rude of me. Um, just that just came out too. Sorry, guys. Um, and then on the counter, so when you said that, I'm like, I really resonate with that. That is very similar to my journey. However, I know people very well who, as children, they were very open. They had spiritual guidance, intuitive drop-ins. They were seeing the unseen realm as children, and sort of integrated that throughout their life path. Do you have any thoughts on why there is such a clear division? Why some people are open and some people completely freak out and shut it off?
I think we don't know how we're going to react until it happens because, I used to say when I first started on my journey, like, why did you bring a spirit to me? It was a horse for me,
Oh,
randomly. It was a horse in my bedroom in the doorway. And I heard the hooves sort of walking on what sounded like more of a cobbled street. And I thought, this was at night. I was awake when I shouldn't have been because I should have been asleep and I wasn't. I was sat up in bed. And I thought, why can I hear a horse? And then like a window appeared in the wall and I saw a horse's legs coming down the road, like as if I was looking down on the street. And the next thing it appeared and it kind of faded in. It didn't just go boom, like it was right in front of me. It just like faded in, was maybe there for a few seconds and then just faded out. And I freaked out. And I think spirit bring these things to us to see, is she going to be open from a young age? If she is, great. We've got this whole plan for her. If she freaks out, fine. she will shut it down. And when she's ready, because we have free will, she will open it back up and then we'll start sending a few little signs. And since then, I've seen golden orbs floating in front of me. I've seen silver orbs as well. Like as I've walked into the bathroom, they've just been floating and like dancing in front of me. And I've put my hand through them and it's gone straight through. Like they're not solid,
Yeah.
but they were there. I could handle that. So I'm like, okay, you can do a bit more. You can do a bit
Yeah.
more of this now. And I think a lot of people say, if spirit's real, why don't they just turn up and sit in front of me in my lounge? And it's like, careful what you wish for. Because if they do that, you may really not enjoy it as much as you think you will.
Oh my gosh. Well, I mean, they will if they want to.
Yeah. But they're never going to want to frighten you. So if you shut it down, you shut it down. But then when you're ready, you could start to invite that back in, but maybe not fully. But then how would you recognize your relative if they didn't manifest in front of you looking like a human? If they
Mm,
manifest as a bright blue light, you're not
yeah.
going to know who that is,
No. Or
unless
if you have
unless
the
you,
knowing.
yeah, you might have come to
Yeah.
the stage in your journey where you're like, I know who that was.
Yeah.
So it
Because
might be that you can.
yeah, I have angels visit, and sometimes they visit in a angelic form, with the wings, and they look like the picture, and then sometimes they are the blue orb or
Yeah.
the color orb. They come in different variations, and then I've had the angel of death come, and that's just been a very dark, heavy energy with no physical attributions at all. But I knew, and then I was like, do you want to tell me who you are? And they're like, you already know. So, yeah, so I think maybe what we're open to and
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
I think it's experimental. Spirit don't know how we're going to react until they try. But
yeah,
we've agreed all of this with our guides before we come here. Nothing's a surprise to them. We're walking through life going, oh, this thing happened. And they're like, yeah, you wrote this. You've written the play. All you're doing is starring in it now. You've written all of this. So but to us it's like discovering new things. And we don't know. Before we incarnate, we don't know as a human being how we're going to react to the things we got planned for that human being when we create this lifetime as a soul until we give it a try. So I do think a lot of this is experimental, but I do think there's a bit of a plan. And it's like, okay, we're going to show up then. If she freaks out, we'll leave it for a bit. But once she started doing that, we'll show up again, but we'll show up in a different way until we find a way to communicate that feels comfortable. And
with
that
her
might change, of
family.
course, as we evolve.
Oh my gosh, I love it. What is your favorite thing about energy work, tarot, and all of the mystical unseen things? What lights you up about it?
I love it when I know something is going to happen and then it does. And I get that quite a lot. I love
Mm.
that. I get so excited. And then I'm still get excited, even though it's been years. I still get excited when I see 1111, 555. I get the numbers every day, but I still get that little buzz. It gets me out of my head where I overthink and I overanalyze, and it gets me into this feeling of awe, like, wow. And that's why I love all of this stuff, because otherwise, life can be quite boring, it can be quite stressful. It's whatever we make of it, of course. But when we get stuck in our head, it can like just drain you of joy. And then when you just go and do a little reading for yourself and you think, oh, that's exciting. I wonder how that's going to show up. And then a day or two later, something happens and you think, oh, this is the energy I saw in the cards. And it just gives you that feeling of magic. Like when you're a kid and you believe in magic. It's a lovely sensation. And it's something that the adult in us, if you like, forgets. And we get
Mm.
stuck listening to that. Oh, you've got to do this, you've got to do that, you've got to go to work, blah, blah, blah. So anything that brings me out of that and into the world of energy and spirit is wonderful. Whether that's tarot reading, some people love tarot cards, some people don't resonate with it. Might be crystals, might be energy healing. There's something for everyone that brings them into that sense of almost like feeling like a child again, exploring the world. So that's what
Mm.
I love about it the most. It's the feeling I get.
That's awesome. I love it when angel numbers come up too. I also love it when I see people's names on like car number plates. Like I'll
Yeah,
see the names and then, 3 hours later I get a message. Or
yeah,
once I literally saw a friend's name on a number plate pulled in to get petrol, picked up my phone, and they had texted me at the exact same time. And I'm like, get out of here.
It's so
Oh,
much fun. Or when you manifest something and then it appears and you're like, oh, it's almost like you didn't quite believe you could do it until it arrives and you think, wow, I did that. I created that. I ordered that.
yes, yes. It's funny. I was listening to The Secret by Rhonda Byrne on audiobook, and I was driving my daughter, who's 9, to school. So she's listening to this concept about manifestation for like the first time. She's like, what? What? Why haven't you told me about this before? What do you mean I can just want what I want? And I'm like, wow, yeah, like that's manifestation. You got to play with it. Like you've got to trust in it. So yeah, we've been playing with it ever since, and we have a lot of fun doing it now. Like it's a little ritual as a mother-daughter thing, and it's exciting to share the energy in the house and build it up and really create um, really beautiful, abundant energy, open energy, and really it's very loving. Like I find when I really lean into my spirituality and my spiritual side that the loving energy just overflows because I am in that connected state and it is pure love and it just flows out even into the mundane of human life. I have so much more compassion and forgiveness and I'm more buoyant when life stuff comes up. Whereas when I sort of lean out of that that trueness of me, then everything feels heavier and more dense. Do you find that with people as well?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think what you said there was really spot on. It's the love that flows. It's almost like your heart's more open when you're doing more of the spiritual work. We're not just doing it for having a bit of fun with the card reading and then we go back to life as normal. It's not about that. It's about creating a new way of being, a new way of living. You live a spiritual life by having that connection. And that naturally means you feel compassion. Instead of judging people when things go wrong, you feel compassion for everybody involved in any kind of incident, whether it's perpetrator, victim, anyone. You kind of almost look through a bigger lens. I get that bigger picture view, like what's the spiritual reason for this happening? Because if I get into my human, I want to blame that person, I want to judge that person. When I come back up and take that bird's eye view, I see all these beings having these experience, and you can step into more of that unconditional acceptance of what's happening. You're less judgy and blamey, and the mundane starts to feel really amazing. In fact, I love the mundane, simple things when I'm feeling connected to source. I feel a walk in nature is the most amazing thing in the world. Watching the birds feed, even washing up, putting my hands in warm water, it just feels wonderful. These little things that we used to feel like, oh, that's a drag that I've got to do that thing, start to really come alive and have meaning and magic to them. And you enjoy just walking around being a human. It's like, oh, this is really cool. It just takes that. We're just in a different vibration when we're more connected spiritually. We're literally our entire being is just changed.
I love a hot shower. And that when I have a hot shower, I'm like, this is God's gift. Like, this is what we are here to experience. Feeling that water run over me, feeling the heat transfer from the water into my body. I'm like, this is amazing. So
Yeah.
I get that. That's probably my number one favorite human thing. And it just seems so simple because we do it at least once a day, multiple times a day, usually. Yeah, wow. I've never thought about it like that.
Yeah, I mean, I love, sitting and having a blanket around me and cuddling a hot cup of tea, but it's not just like, oh, this is enjoyable because I'm drinking tea. It's the whole experience of being a human, I think, because I'm tapping into that part of me that's not human, that
Yeah.
said, we've come here to be human temporarily, enjoy it, because you're not going to be a human for very long. This life will be over in the blink of an eye. So enjoy all these little moments that we do on autopilot normally. You start to be more present in those mundane moments and think, oh, you just feel excited by really normally quite boring things, but they're not
Yeah.
boring anymore.
No, there was just like a little thing dancing in your background as you were saying that too. So it was
Ah.
like shot confirmation, splitting in and out. Melanie, what do you think are the biggest misconceptions about tarot cards? Because you just like touched on them like as something that people can go to. There's still, I find, there's still a lot of woo woo behind them, or what's the word? Not judgment, but offhand comments about, oh, you're going to get your cards done, are you? Oh, you get what are the lotto numbers? Like, there's still some ignorant comments behind them. So, what do you find are the common misconceptions, and how do you find they benefit people most?
So the biggest misconception is that it's some way of predicting the future, because you can't predict something that's malleable and movable and changeable. Your future is created by you in every minute and every second that you live, and you create that. So if you decide that, oh, I'm going to ask the cards what's going to happen next week, you're giving your power away. It's not the cards that are making it happen, it's you. So if you see a potential future in the cards, this could work out like this, and you say, I want that, you then manifest that as your reality. But it's not coming from the cards, it's coming from you. We're more powerful than we believe. So when I think about doing something, I might pull the cards out and say, what do I need to know about the situation before I go head first into it? What's it going to bring me? Is it going to bring me joy? Is it going to cost me money? Is it going to start to feel a drag? What do I need to know about it? And then I can make a more informed decision on whether I want to then manifest what I'm asking
Mm,
about. So you keep your power when you're
mm,
reading the tarot, you don't give it away. Um, and the tarot will show you a potential outcome based on your current energy. Like if
mm,
you're not really feeling it, the tarot cards will show you a card that looks like boredom. Four of Cups, I think, comes to mind. A card that looks like, oh, this is boring. Because if you're not feeling it, the tarot will reflect that and show you this is going to bore you because you're not in the right headspace. But if you say, oh, actually, I really want to do this, do it, but change your headspace. Don't expect the cards to tell you something. And then you say, oh, well, tarot says I'm going to find that boring, so I'm just not going to do it. It's all based on your energy when you're reading the cards and your intention. So that's the biggest misconception. And also, not everybody wants to ask the tarot cards, how can I win the lottery? Some of us, that doesn't float our boat. There's this assumption by people that everybody's going to use them to try and win the lottery. I
mm,
ask my tarot cards really basic, mundane things. I don't ask it those big, massive questions. I just want to know everyday things. The tarot helps me in all sorts of ways. Even if I
ooh,
want to buy a book, what's this book going to bring to me? What's it got? How is it going to make me feel when I read it? And then it might suggest that I'm going to get bored halfway through and chuck it in the bin. So I think, oh, I won't buy that one
mhm,
then. So it can help you with small things, but don't give your power away. So if you're going to have a reading for yourself, or you're going to have a reading, you have the power yourself, not the cards and not the person doing the reading. It's all in you, and you create with your intention, your actions, your behaviors, and your thoughts. But they
mm,
can help give you, they can reflect back what you're perhaps not seeing. I
mm,
find they show me
mm.
things and I see the cards and I think, yeah, I knew that. I knew that, but this got in the way. So it kind of reflects back your subconscious mind to you.
Mm. Even when it's something I don't want to see, I'm like, I knew
Yeah.
it was going to be that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why? It's because I knew, like, and I'm
Yeah.
putting it out there. So I knew
Yeah.
it was going to be a dickhead of a card.
Exactly. And you do actually have all the answers within you. You don't need the cards. But for people starting out, the cards are great because they reflect to you what you're not seeing. And sometimes when you're just choosing not to see something, they're a very useful mirror. So they're a fantastic tool and they're fun.
They are fun.
Mm,
I feel like one of the big lessons I got early on in my spiritual life was that I was choosing not to see a lot more than I realized.
yeah.
And as I delved deeper, I'm like, oh, yeah, I did kind of know that. Oh, yeah, I've been pushing that down for 10 years. Oh, yeah, life is just easier if I didn't acknowledge that. So when it all blew apart, yeah, I can kind of see that it wasn't coming out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And I feel like the more the more acceptance I have of myself, the more open I am to acknowledging the parts, the darkness, I guess, seeing the dark um, parts of life that, okay, well, I'm not going to ignore it anymore because otherwise it's all going to blow up and turn to rubbish. Whereas if I just am comfortable with where I'm at now, then it can just play out in a more peaceful, easier way, easier for lack of better words, but with more ease. But yeah, definitely at the start of my journey, I was still very much, and I don't want to go into the depths of the dark, and the I guess the fear of the perception that there's terrible things in the dark, but just coming to realize that it's just part of me and I can see it with my eyes and I don't have to shun it away and repress it for a long time.
Yeah, I think they're a great healing tool, and I've used them to do shadow work myself, quite a lot. And it's one of the courses I teach. I think it's really important that we do take a dive into our shadow, because it feels like it's going to be a scary place, but it's just repressed memories, thoughts, behaviors. It's just it's just part of being human. Whatever's down there in your shadow, it's not going to jump out at you. It's just part of the human experience, and a lot of it's fear, or it's anger, or it's something that we haven't felt ready to deal with at the time, so we've just pushed it down, or it's something we've been told, that's, you shouldn't behave like that, or you shouldn't have those thoughts. We've been programmed by our entire society around us, so some of that's down in the shadow. But the tarot is a good way to illuminate what's down there, so that you can just allow it, because it's part of you, just like
Mm,
the inner child is part of you, just like your heart is part of you. It's just a part of you that's maybe needs to come out.
yeah, I love it. I love especially what you mentioned about the intention of going or have like doing your own reading or going into a reading. The intention that you are bringing into it is so important, and the intention of any deep dive or spiritual work or morning reflections or time in nature, the intention is everything, the essence of what you're going to be doing. Like you are going to have the experience that you bring the intention in with. Just so you could go in thinking, oh, this is going to be it's going to be a terrible walk out in the forest today, and you're going to have a terrible walk out in the forest. But if you go in excited to be with nature and curious about what you may see, that is going to be the experience you have and
Yeah,
open up.
exactly.
Yes.
We don't fall into reality and it happens to us. We are creating it individually, and we are co-creating it as a species as well. We're all creating all of this.
Yeah. I think we forget that too. Like
Yeah,
the ripple effect of our own creation is, fluttering around those around us, and it continues and continues and continues. And that's why I love having these conversations, because it might touch one person, but it's actually going to ripple out to so many more within their community and so on and so on. Ah, Melanie, if you had a message for the collective today, what would they need to know?
I would say one of the biggest messages I want to get out there is to get people out of fear, really, and to get them to realize how powerful they are, because
Mm,
we're not little tiny human beings plodding along on a rock in space. We are spirit. So we look at spirit guides and beings in spirit like they're amazing. So are you. You are a being in spirit right now. You've just focused on this particular moment. You are incredibly powerful, but that power needs to be used wisely. And like you've just said, the ripple effects. You do one kind thing to one person today, they do a kind thing to somebody else. This is how we change the world,
mm,
is by
mm,
realizing, remembering who we are and remembering how powerful we are, and then using that in a really compassionate way.
Yes, 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 yes. I have a beautiful friend, and they are not aware of the magic they bring when they have a conversation with someone. the way that they have a conversation with anyone. It could be the person at the supermarket, could be the barista, it could be someone walking their dog. Whoever they encounter, they stop and they make eye contact and they are present and they have
Mm.
this intention with even a fleeting conversation with a stranger, and they always ask their name when they finish the conversation. And I get to experience, I get to watch this, and I'm like, do you know the magic you just created there?
Yeah,
And they just flip it up because that's just them. That's what they've always done. They just pass it off as a nothing. And I'm like, your conversation just made a difference in the world. You
yeah,
just made someone feel seen and validated and important just in like a 3-minute interaction. And that is a gift in this world.
yeah, yeah,
It's such a gift. The things that we take for granted, the things that we do so naturally we don't think twice about, these are our gifts that create the energy in our world that again help pour that love out, that create that ripple effect. And I've seen this person have a conversation with someone where something clicks in that person about whatever they're talking about. And I know that they are going to go away and think about that and they're going to make different choices just from what one person thinks is a fleeting moment. It's incredible. We are incredible little plonky humans, plotting humans, as you said. I love that image, plotting humans on a rock. And yet we have the magic within
yeah.
us.
And it doesn't
Mm,
have to be that you think, oh, well, I've got to go and change the entire world all on my own, and I've got to teach people and I've got to do all this stuff. No, you can do it through being you, through being authentically you and just being loving and kind. And the
mm.
difference that makes, you might not see it, but that makes a huge difference to the collective.
It really
Mm.
does. It really does. You don't need to be an influencer with a million followers.
No,
You can
no,
just be kind to your local coffee shop workers. You can be nice to the teachers at school. And, we have that ability in any moment. It's so fantastic.
yeah,
I feel like this has really shone a light on how special and unique we all are. And I know these terms are thrown around all the time, but I am just feeling it so deeply in my heart right now. Like it's so connected to us here. Like we go, what is our purpose here on life? What are we here for? What's life about? And if we actually just scale it back and we look at it as the humans we are, it's to be kind, to be compassionate, to love others, love ourselves, and be the walking reflection of that above.
yeah, absolutely. And I think if we could see our energy fields, I
Mm,
think that would be more impactful because we would see how some people's energy just bursts out like sunlight or like they're like a lighthouse. They're just beaming out light. And if we could see that, we would think, I want to be like that. And we've all got that ability. We're in an age now where it's easier. We're in a stage of mass awakening. Lots and lots of people all over the planet are waking up. So that energy is here right now. So it's easier for us to get out of how we used to live years ago. When it was a different world then, totally different. It's changed massively and it's still changing. But we just
mm,
need to remember that because we can't see it with our human eyes, we can forget. Just remember what's in my field right now. Is it love? Or am I judging? Or am I beating myself up about something? I want to emanate love as
mm,
often as I can. So I need to just keep coming back to that thought and remembering to do it.
mm. I found it really helpful when I get caught in like a mind loop about whatever. Does it really matter? And the answer is usually no. Like it doesn't really matter. In 10 years, I'm not going to care about this one point that I'm
No.
beating myself up about. At the end of my life, when I'm having my life reflected back to me, is that one point going to be a highlight? No, it's going to be the love
Exactly.
and kindness and compassion that I show to other people around me. So focus on that, Sarah. Like get out of the head, and
Yeah.
otherwise it will drive you crazy. And the more you loop, the more you keep repeating the same patterns over and over. And we have so many more gifts to be sharing. Beautiful. Oh, Melanie, I have 3 Empress questions for you. I
Okay.
would love to ask. How do you embody your Empress?
For me, all of my the best energy comes from when I'm connected to spirit. So if I feel that connection from the crown going up and I visualize radiating light out of my crown, that just lights me up. And that's me embodying who I'm meant to be, who I came here to be. It's keeping that connection to the spirit world and not just being focused on the earth, if that makes sense.
Absolutely. I love that. Beautiful. And what does your Empress energy feel like for you?
So loving, when we were saying earlier, from the heart, it feels like every thought I have comes from the heart. Every decision I make comes from the heart. It feels held and safe as well for me personally, but it feels loving and compassionate and unconditional. That's when I'm in that space.
Beautiful. And what are your parting words of wisdom for inspiring your nation?
Remember the ripple effect. So remember that every little act of kindness ripples out, and visualize it as being light spreading out into the world with every single interaction you have.
Mm, so simple, so effective,
Yeah.
such a great reminder for every single person. Be the ripple. I love it. Melanie, what is the best way people can connect with you? How do you love to connect with anyone listening right now?
So probably the best thing is my website, which is www.melanie-stevens.com. Stevens being spelled with a V. I've got loads of stuff on my website, loads of freebies. And then anyone who subscribes to the website will get my newsletter, but they'll also get access to 2 hidden tabs with
Mhm.
workshops, downloads, all juicy free stuff for people to indulge in.
Oh, hidden tabs. That
Yeah,
sounds really
I know.
exciting.
They're just so exciting when they're hidden, aren't they?
Oh my gosh. I am going to have to go and have a look now. I'm going to pop the link to the website in the show description. So just head on down there, guys, and you can click through and find out what those hidden tabs have in store for you. Magical mystery. Thank you so much, Melanie, for joining us today on Embody Your Empress. I have just, my heart is bursting with joy for every single person out there right now. Like, I feel like I've just swallowed a million coffees. Like, it's like, ooh. Um, yeah, so touching, so heartwarming, so connected. And it's just been a pleasure having you share your knowledge here on Embody Your Empress.
Thank you so much for having me on the show.
You are welcome.